He's there just to take good care of me, like he's part of the family. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. And I want Charles in charge of me.
And now, for our feature presentation, Cult of Contempt.
And I know how to deal with a bad customer.
Good evening and happy Halloween. We got a great show planned, embarrassing kid pics, the unveiling of the new Inquisitor, and a discussion of Halloween costumes. And if this past weekend was any indication, the costume of the year is definitely Joker. Gee, dressed as the Joker when the movie came out at the beginning of the month. What kind of an unclever douche would dress like... Oh, fuck. I am Inquisitor. I hunger for questions.
Of course Mary Beth is gonna be there. They need a bass player, don't they?
I am Inquisitor.
No, I don't know what she's wearing. You're a weirdo. Who can that be?
Well, you soon shall be, my friend. Hello?
Doc, can you fix him?
Why did you bring him here? He's an abomination.
I know, but can you fix him?
Okay. However, that thing needs an extraordinary brain. We have to see Dr. Zom because he can get extraordinary things.
Who's Dr. Zom?
Thank you very little. His public shaming, he says, was like a crash course in empathy. He recalls the first time he ventured out of the house, terrified someone would have crossed him for what he'd done.
Like my heart was racing and I felt unsafe.
Dead bodies and missing organs have the city in turmoil.
Unsafe. Unsafe.
If Dr. Zom is responsible, I needed to know. So I had a chat with my usual contacts.
Are you fucking crazy? That guy's dangerous!
That went pretty stellar. That was it. 2 weeks, trail gone cold. Until suddenly, I got this weird message on my computer. obtaining white male testicle will be so hard? This is America, everybody's flapping their balls around. Eventually the deed was done and we rendezvoused at one of my old haunts.
Don't want to talk about it. It was a freaking succubus. These things are dangerous. You can't do this yourself. Gimme. I'm coming for you, Quizzy.
Okay, we have the brain, and he is hooked up. However, his voice is going to change. But we have options.
It's now time for you, America, to decide Inquisitor's voice.
How about this?
I am Inquisitor and I hunger for questions.
How about this?
I'm Inquisitor and I hunger for questions, you liberal snowflakes.
How about this?
I am Inquisitor. I hunger for answers.
Two, one, action.
Well,
You're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, a zookeeper. This is a gem. You basically trap the animals inside. Zookeeper top score.
Live from space, but really in a living room. Inquisitor is looking grimly with an inquiry. It's time to name the asshole of the week soon. Called up contempt. Called up contempt. Called up contempt. Wednesdays at 8:15.
Check it out, Paul's the Joker and I'm the Dark Knight, baby. But you're not the Joker, you were the Joker on Facebook and now you're Freddy. Or are you just like a really young Weird Al?
I'm Vincent Price.
Without the glove, you look like somebody Molly Ringwald might dump in a movie.
With the glove, it looks like these blades are going to go up your white ass, Phil.
Speaking of gloves, I saw the coolest meme the other day. They had Jason Voorhees with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Nice.
And I said, how is that menacing? The poor thing would probably just regenerate his mom and live in peace. I don't think he would even understand how to use the Infinity.
I mean, he's just been killing people for the last few years. You don't give that up.
I don't know. It'd be an interesting movie.
How's your facial hair growing in there?
I say fuck Jason.
Of course you do. The lighting in here is bad, but it's actually coming in. And I know
the lighting in here is great, like the boiler room.
All right, so he's going to be, what is that, Daniel Day-Lewis this whole show, huh?
What did you say about me?
What are you, Wolverine now?
Isn't there a snap?
What are you saying about me? Morph! You're the only one to make me laugh. Morph!
The power glove.
That was great. I love that commercial.
Soul food.
Oh wait, no, that was like the third one, right?
That was the sixth one.
Oh shit, was it?
Yeah. The history of my costume is obviously I'm Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 4, where he's wearing these cool sunglasses.
Right.
At some point in it.
And no sweater.
No. I don't have a sweater. You know what? It's too hot for a sweater.
It's hot as fuck.
I know what happened to the sweater. Rivers Cuomo came, grabbed the string, and just walked away.
Nice.
Freddy sings the hits.
So,
The glove looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, the glove's great.
So what was your to murder children?
Nice.
Since we're on the subject of Nightmare, what was your favorite of the series, of the franchise, including New Nightmare, including the reboot, all of it? Anything Nightmare?
The first one I ever saw was Dream Warriors, which is really cheesy now, but that makes me like it even more.
Hollywood hit this sort of thing in the 80s where they're like, hey, Aliens worked where there's action in the horror, so they made these like half-assed doofy X-Men in this mental institution but they only had powers in their dreams. But some of the best, the scene in 3 where he's the marionette puppet and the marionette puppet, the animation to make Freddy's face, that's fucking scary.
Claymation.
Yeah, that was fabulous, and that whole murder and that whole scene, and then at one point he cuts up the guy to make him a marionette by his arteries and shit, and he's like walking around all that whole scene freaked me out. I was like 10, 11, freaked me out for days.
That's why I always like those movies, is like they always had like crazy, there was nothing like that ever happened where somebody used somebody's veins as a marionette. Like I think that's the first time I ever saw that in my life.
Yeah.
And probably the last. I don't think I've seen it since.
No.
What twisted bastard comes up with that, you know? So.
And I always like too that Freddy fucking kills people with shit that like they think they know. Like the kid, that's the Power Glove joke in like the 6th movie. Like the one kid, all he does is he wants to play video games. He don't give a fuck. He don't want to talk to his dad or nothing.
Right.
And so like Freddy puts him in the game.
Is that Freddy's dad? Is that
Freddy's dad?
With Roseanne and Tom Arnold?
Tom Arnold.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I didn't.
That's when you know it kind of jumped the shark, but it was still kind of cool.
My favorite, I think the best one is the first one.
True.
Eternally,
yeah.
I'll say, but I think my favorite one is probably number 2. Because of
2 is weird.
How
it took
fucking
a weird twist.
Yeah, there's not a the chick in it is not the Scream Queen. It's the guy. It's pretty much one of the gayest horror movies I've ever seen. In terms of like the main character is like totally the whole thing with Freddy. I always felt like it was an allegory for like homosexuality.
Really?
Oh, totally, dude. You've got the body, I've got the brain, like all that shit. And he like comes out of him. Like literally,
but it's just like for some weird one movie, Freddy could not come out of the dream world without being in somebody else's body.
Well, he was invisible when he comes out at one point, and he fucking kills all those people while he's invisible.
But I mean, was what he did in 2 a result of being defeated in 1?
I don't know. I think 2 they just rushed it into production. I know for a fact they didn't have Robert Englund. At first, like, he wasn't going to be Freddy. They had some other guy, and then they saw him fucking lumbering around like Frankenstein. It's like,
nope.
It was obvious, like, yeah, we got to pay this other guy. Like, he fucking brought this character to life. So, I feel like that movie is basically, it's like a great, Freddy, I think, is great in it. Like, just the shit that he says, the shit that he does. He's, like, fucking super sinister. It's like a crazy movie.
The first 3 are solid, and it's hard to say that with a trilogy. Usually there's a stinker in the 3. I like...
Well, 2 is definitely considered the stinker, I would think.
Yeah.
Because 1 and 3 are... 3 is a direct sequel to 1. 3 is like Nancy from 1 comes back, she's the doctor with all the kids. So it's like, 2 is like the bastard child that's just in there, like... Oh yeah, we made this second one. We rushed into production 20 minutes after this one made millions of dollars. Like, they had nothing. They had no plan.
In high school, I had the fucking T-shirt where he's got like the claws and Nancy's face. Fucking awesome T-shirt. Also, I met Robert Englund at one of the Chiller theaters. The guy was super cool. Talked to everybody. He was funny. He was fucking laid back. You can tell why he brought that character to life. He's just a guy that's kind of full of energy.
He had 2 roles on top of Freddy that I really dug, and I always thought he was a good actor. He was in the TV series V in the mid.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love that.
A very, sort of timid character. He didn't really want, he was kind of like the good Nazi.
Yeah, he was one of the aliens.
Yeah, he was like a defector of the aliens, but then he introduced them to a faction. If you get into the series.
5th column?
Yeah. Oh my god, so you were deep in the series too, right?
No, I kind of...
Michael Ironside, the only man whose name sounds like...
See, I watched the remake of V, so I didn't watch the OG one, but I tried to catch up on it as best I could. Like, I watched it one time while I was sick, so I watched like half of it and like, wake up and be like, oh shit, that's crazy, and then fall asleep with a fever again. But, no, I liked the V. I watched like I think the first miniseries or something I wasn't that deep into it, but
There was
I watched
like a movie and then a series, and the series only lasted a couple seasons.
I watched the fucking show because of Marina Baccarin, Deadpool's girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
smoking.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, she was in Firefly, she was in that,
yeah.
she had a cameo in How I Met Your Mother.
Firefly is amazing.
Oh my god.
I wish she had a cameo in my pants.
How was the remake of V?
It was cool.
Yeah?
It was great, but the network didn't really. I guess it was so expensive to make. They wanted like a Walking Dead kind of level hit, and they didn't get it, so they didn't really back it.
Gotcha.
But that happens. I don't know. That's a show. If streaming was up and running like it is now, that's a show that would have gotten picked up by streaming. I
Definitely.
think,
Yeah, Netflix would have totally picked that up.
Yeah,
Firefly,
but Netflix was in a position at the time, yeah. And
Firefly always makes a resurgence. I feel like every
No, but I feel like
I know they don't
streaming-
bring it back, but like they could make a Firefly movie whenever the fuck they want.
Sure, but I mean, like streaming, I think it got much more popular because people actually are like, "Oh, let me give this a chance."
I didn't watch it until streaming myself.
I think about the
That's what I mean.
horrible shit that they do bring back, like Will and Grace or whatever. Like, it's like, God, I didn't want to fucking watch this while it was on. Like, ugh.
The other role, do you guys remember that dumb horror movie that was based on, I think it was called Urban Legends?
Yeah, Urban Legend. Yeah,
he was like
great in
a
that.
college professor.
The
in that.
doctor in that.
Yeah, I actually thought, I heard they made others. I thought the first one was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of Scream a little bit, but
I like
thought it was
Urban
a
Legend,
solid.
the first one. The second one's not very good.
The dog in my grave, that was classic.
I will say, Robert Englund too. He was good in The Mangler about the killer dryer. There's like a killer like dryer.
I
It's like a
saw
big
the
machine that like is it like has like a quench for a thirst for blood that
Nice.
cannot be quenched, and
A dryer.
yeah, it's like an industrial like press, and like he puts people in it. It's like real sinister. It's great.
So it's basically like a remake of Little Shop of Horrors, except it's a press machine.
Oh yeah, and Robert
Englund.
Englund is wearing one of those like white out contacts. He's got like the creepy eye and shit. He's good in it, and also he was really good in. Oh, there's one more. 2001 Maniacs, maybe I think it was.
It sounds familiar.
That was like he plays like this crazy guy with an eye patch.
And
with
is
like
he
a
good, or-
Confederate flag on the eye patch. It's like this. It's a crazy movie.
But it raises a question about acting. So we were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and that was like, Lipton once said that to a lot of great actors, horror is kind of your first step
Yeah.
in. It's almost a rite of passage. And Johnny Depp was in the first. He went on to these great things. Robert Englund stuck around and has, is signing autographs at Chiller.
But Robert Englund was never going to be Johnny Depp for playing Freddy Krueger,
He didn't have
was
the face
old,
for it.
like, yeah, he was like an old dude already. It's like that's.
So it's an age thing.
I think it's an age thing. I
He's
think
not
it's
hot.
a time and
But
place
girls.
thing.
I'm not even, we're getting away from what I'm getting at is horror something, if you're a serious actor, you take the money and you get out, or else you get typecast. Where is the danger of getting typecast?
No,
and you were just saying that in
there's
two.
no danger in getting typecast, but I think Johnny Depp. What was he gonna do? I mean, he did other shit that was considered horror. He did like Edward Scissorhands definitely has like a horror aspect
hell yeah.
to it, but
horror adjacent.
Yeah, but like, dude, he did that Stephen King movie where he's the writer, Secret Window. He's
Yeah.
done a couple like weird.
With the corn.
He's done a couple like weird horror-ish sort of
He
movies.
was Sweeney Todd.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. He did.
Sleepy
He
Hollow
did,
is great.
There's the other one too where he's like a fucking astronaut or something. That was like kind of crazy. It's not really a horror movie, but it's like it's on that cusp. The astronaut's daughter or something like that. I forget.
Okay.
Right,
more
the
of a
astronaut
thriller.
comes back and it's got an alien and then it starts taking over the planet or something.
It's
or
like
maybe
something like that.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's like he certainly walks that line. Like, but Robert Englund like made that character, and that's like a character that. You could make 10 sequels about him. People will still watch him because he's fucking awesome, Freddy.
So he's getting a steady paycheck. He's just not making those $20 billion.
Listen, at this point, the way they did the Hulk and the way they've done Avengers, they could totally fucking mocap Robert Englund and stick his face on somebody else who could do the fucking heavy lifting, and it would look fine.
Right.
Like they could pull this off. Like he could do most of it. I'm sure. Like the stuff where he's talking, flinging the glove around, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But like, yeah, when he has to get thrown around or fucking get into a fight, like, do I want a 78-year-old Robert Englund in a fight scene? No.
Yeah. You can get
I thought how was the dude that was Rorschach who went on to be the next Freddy? How was he?
He was like,
I forget.
If there was never a Nightmare on Elm Street and that was the first one,
not bad.
I would have thought it was okay. Like, this is cool, but like, that's like an iconic character. Like, you can't recast that.
And then there's the nostalgia goggles of it. Like, we're attached to it because it's part of our youth. Like, Freddy Krueger was like the thing that makes nightmares. You know,
listen, I think
Chucky's voice we're very familiar.
I think there's actors that could play Freddy Krueger convincingly. Like, that aren't Robert Englund. That would be a better choice than Jackie Earle Haley. Like, Robert Englund thinks that Kevin Bacon should take a crack at it. And I think Kevin Bacon would make a pretty sick fucking...
He's done some creepy movies. Like, underrated Hollow Man is actually a really cool look at the concept of the Invisible Man. Like, if nobody can see what you're doing, you can do whatever the hell you want.
I love the Invisible Man.
But he was pretty creepy in that. He was creepy in that Sleepers movie.
I feel like you get attached to a character as an actor. It's like when they switched Darren's on Bewitched, it just was never the same. It's never the same. There's
I never
a certain
noticed.
chemistry. For real?
It was just one white guy with brown hair and a different white guy with brown hair.
When they switched who?
The Darrens.
Didn't they both have the name Dick too? So it was like
Dick Sargent.
Dick Sargent and Dick York.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck these dicks. I can't even tell them apart. If you showed me a picture, which one's Dick Sargent, which one's Dick York? I go, I don't know. Stop showing me pictures of dicks.
Nice.
Roseanne replaced the daughter.
Where do we fall on New
Sarah
Nightmare?
Chalk, and she actually
New
was
Nightmare
just
was
as
the
popular.
shit.
New Nightmare was the shit, I thought, and that wasn't Robert Englund.
I love
Yeah, it
New
was.
Nightmare.
Was it?
No, it was.
Yeah, it's just Freddy Krueger as himself. That's not a real person. That's what he's credited as. Robert Englund plays himself in it too, but he also
I
plays
saw
Freddy.
that. Oh, I didn't know he played Freddy in that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They just
He acts
made him
totally
up
different.
way differently, like crazy.
Yeah.
And that's like one thing I'm like, you know what? I love the fucking classic Freddy Krueger look, but like that movie like took him out of the movie and put him in real life. So it's like they got to make him look kind of fucking different, like more fucked up with the bone claw and shit. Like I was at for Halloween one year.
Nice.
The bone claw Freddy Krueger with like the rubber fucking glove that like basically had bones on it, and then.
I had that. I had that one with the dumb mask that only covered this much of your face, and then I found some stupid hat. I was the worst Freddy Krueger ever. But I spent 4 or 5 hours taking a bald cap, putting on a basketball, and then taking latex and paint and makeup, and just trying to match it to the mask. I spent all this time just to have a shitty Freddy Krueger costume. And some idiot who bought the good mask with the good hat and didn't wear remotely the sweater, wore his sneakers, was saying he had a better costume. And he was one of those douchey kids in middle school who's like, I'm going to get people to sign a petition that says that my costume is better than yours.
Oh, I would smack the
and
shit
I'm
out of
like,
that.
you're fucking sad. You're fucking sad.
Yeah.
This is dumb. No one cares.
Yeah, that sucks. That's stupid.
But
you should have made that kid's head bleed.
And also, you guys were getting dressed up in middle school?
Yeah.
It was kind of over by middle school. We were like too cool because we're going to high school soon, kind of thing.
Well, we had a parade, and the 8th graders.
You had a parade in middle school? You would have gotten your ass beat in Bloomfield if you came parading by the middle school.
We all got trophies.
We had kids smoking
and then,
pot in the
orange
parking lot.
slices after, and a pat on the butt, and that I'm a special person, and I'm gonna do great things.
Wow, God.
Yeah, it was great. And
No
then,
wonder we're all doing heroin now.
Yeah.
Can I see her sword?
You can see my sword. My sword. I might take the bottoms off and just have my jeans because this thing is hot as fuck.
Hey-o!
Hey now. Stripping down.
And now it's time for Phil Perry.
Hey, I saw that sword in the thing. I don't know. It's probably almost over now, but
Paul's doing a good move.
Stay
Distracting
fair.
him with the sword, so we don't see that.
I love to go to the Halloween store after and pick up shit for cheap for my house because Halloween is the best holiday, and I fucking love horror.
So you just buy like a coffee table that's like
sword.
bones and
Just like little shit, like little skulls you can put different places and stuff.
Danzig?
Yeah, kinda.
I like to go to the Halloween store after Halloween and get all the good fucking deals.
That's right.
I remember the day after Halloween.
Alright, so best and worst costumes ever.
Best what?
Best and worst costumes ever.
That we've done or in general?
We've done. Wow.
Not that you've ever seen. That's too easy.
Yeah, that you've done.
That you've done. What's your worst costume?
My worst costume?
No, what's your best costume? Let's do that first.
I lucked out in the early 90s where I had long hair, and a lot of people thought I looked like Mike Myers, so I bought a Wayne's World hat.
Nice.
Ripped jeans, and party on. And I don't know, it wasn't like the most complicated costume, but it was kind of like the costume that got the most attention. Because people in Newton were convinced that I looked like it.
Nice.
And I dyed my hair brown. That was the first time I ever dyed my hair. And it was funny because I actually wanted to get it dyed black, and I went to the salon where this chick who ran with a different clique than I did, and I don't know, she gave me this dumb look and said she couldn't dye my hair black, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, you don't want to take my money? Fuck you. So then I just, instead of spending $100, I spent, 10 on the stuff. Left it in really long, but it was weird. My hair's weird because when it grows out, there's always a shade of green. No matter what color I put in, it always looks green for a period of time.
No shit.
I was gonna get it dyed blue earlier, but they're trying to talk me into bleaching, and I'm afraid it's gonna fall out and never grow back. And these are the golden locks. I want to be a silver fox when I'm like 65.
Nice.
I want to have my Clooney years.
I just started. Yeah,
but we're off topic. We're off topic. I don't have too many windows again. But one of my clever costumes was I liked making costumes that were cheap but had thought. So I've done like Smarty pants where I put like Smarties on my pants. I did.
You're one of those.
I did one.
Did you do 3 hole punch, Jim?
No. That's great. Yeah, for The Office. I love that guy. All right. A really important costume in my life was there was an MST3K episode where they were talking about cheap costumes, and they said you could be the floor of a movie theater. So I did it, and I basically put like ticket stubs and popcorn and taped it to myself.
That's pretty cool.
And I showed up to this. It was my first year at William Patterson, and I was not really in the clique at the radio station, and I didn't really know anybody. It was my first year there. I was a commuter. It's hard to make friends when you're a commuter.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you just hang out and do drugs. You'll meet people at college.
I figured that out eventually. That took me a half a year.
Moving along there, Jim.
So I went to this party. Dan Galliotto showed up as Paul Stanley.
Nice. I can see that.
And then I was like, oh my god. And he went up to me and said, you're the floor of something. And I was like, I am going to be friends with that fucking dude. And sure enough. So that's my story.
Wow.
Nice. What's your best costume?
I had 2 best costumes. I had a wizard, which I sent you the photo. Come on, that one's great. That's a good one. Come on. And I had a kind of like a spaceman outfit, but it was like the 4th grade or something, and it was like a helmet. It was a toy helmet that you spoke into, and it gave you a robot voice, and then you could lift it up, and then there was your real face.
Nice.
And then like I put a tank on it. I had my laser tag gun. I had like a silver outfit. I was badass.
This is like a Cylon or something.
I was kind of like a Cylon, and I was just like talking like a robot all day and annoying the shit out of adults, which is what you want to do in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was balls out. That was fucking killer.
4th grade.
Well, we had a parade up until the 6th grade. I remember in 6th grade, Kenny Picone was a burnout, and that was hysterical to us.
A burnout?
That was his costume. And the teacher was like, all right, Kenny, what the fuck? I retire in 20 days or whatever it was.
So did people cheer for you at the parade before the orange slices and the trophies?
We didn't have orange slices. Actually, a lot of times in grade school, we had 2 costumes because we used to hit the whole neighborhood, find out who had the full-size candy bars, then you go out later after dinner in the second costume. Then you got candy to like.
The second costume is just you just cover your first costume in blood, put a mask on. Oh, I'm a zombie now.
Yeah. You wear the same mask you've had for 5 years, and people are just like, here's candy.
I would just, if people put out like a tray of candy and I could take what I want, I would just keep taking shit until they're like, no more, only one, you know? Like,
I've seen kids take like the whole box on somebody's porch and just walk away.
Yeah, I saw the best ad for The Ring the other day. It shows the fucking, the kids like walk up to the porch and like, it's like take one. Mm-hmm. And the guy like gets like a weird voice through the thing like, I see what you're doing, don't take any. And the kids are like, they just run away. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. Take as much as you want. I think it's great.
There was one year that these people, they put like one of those Halloween displays where like something jumped out of the bushes, and like kids were scared to go to that house to get candy. Like older kids would go, but the younger kids, they jumped out.
Oh yeah,
the
kid would jump. This kid would jump out with a fucking leaf blower.
Yeah.
Nice. Just like trying to start it with like a hockey mask on, scare the shit out of you. Now I'd say that my to keep things on track, my best costume that I ever was the Crow, because it was easy as shit. I already had a black trench coat. It was good. It was Halloween. I was allowed to wear it at school that day. And just chicks just love the Crow.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh my god, broads are just like, oh my god, you look just like the Crow.
It's a panty dropper.
Yeah, it is a panty dropper. And then I think that was the same year where instead of doing what the Crow would do when people were shooting paintballs at us, I just hid behind a bush and let the girls take the paintballs. I heard it. I'm like, oh shit, we should take cover. They're like, what? They're not listening. Like, typical. I ducked, and they just heard. I just got hit with something. It's just like a big green splotch on her tit. It was great.
Wait, why were they shooting you at paintball?
Oh, because it was Montclair in like the late '90s, and just people didn't give a fuck. Like, you just did what you wanted. You know,
I do what I want.
Yeah, 1999.
And paintball guns were like big that year. So what were worst costumes then?
My worst costume was probably last year when my Deadpool costume was stolen, but that's a cop-out.
Stolen?
Yeah, from the mail.
Oh my god.
No, I would say my worst costume was... I don't know, I gotta think about that. What's your worst?
My worst costume was my mom really phoned it in one year, and she said, well, what do you want to be? I was like a monster or something. She was like, I'll make you a mutant. And she gave me like her old green robe and like painted my face green and gave me like a rubber like pig nose. And I had like fangs. And then I had this old action figure with tentacles. So she made some sort of tentacle hat. That was the laughing stock that year. It was awful.
I'm a mutant.
Yeah.
I'm a mutant, guy.
Yeah, here you are, mutant.
Did you get punched in the face that year?
No. First and second grade, but not after that.
I don't know. I think the worst costume I ever was I didn't understand the concept of how like liquid latex worked. I was like little.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, Mom, I want you to stick these on my face. So she bought this like glue, but she didn't put the latex like over it, like how it's supposed to make it look like skin.
Right.
So I just looked like I had fucking crap on my face, and I like literally just got out of the house and like ripped it off, and I had a Jason mask in my backpack. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always good to have a backup.
For sure.
What's your worst costume, Jim? Or is it gonna be Hulk Hogan?
Oh, it might be, brother. I did Charlie Brown one year, and I was working on Halloween at MSNBC, and I was all excited, and I was the only one in costume, and I felt like a douche. That bald cap.
You just gotta own it that year. That's hysterical, though.
And then when I looked around and nobody was in costume, I went, oh, good grief. And they're like, get to work, douche. But then when you're, I was a generic mummy, so I just basically wrapped myself in toilet paper and showed up to ShopRite.
That's hysterical.
And then, and then the dirtbag brunettes with the mullets were trying to light me on fire while we're
I was going to say, that's the first thing I think of is throwing matches.
So basically, I went as the Human Torch.
I always loved, like, the costumes that were allowed when we were kids. Like, what are you this year? I'm a bum. Like, yeah, that's not a hobo. Like, no, you can't be a hobo anymore. They don't call it that. Like, oh, I'm displaced. Like, no, that's not a Halloween costume anymore. It's like a fucking way of life.
It's great. Ari, I would like to address the Halloween costume.
Child Bride?
No, the makers of the Halloween costume in the 60s and 70s, where it's terrible plastic mask of said character and picture of said character.
Oh yeah, like Spider-Man. It's like a shitty Spider-Man mask.
The Simpsons make fun of that. Like why would Radioactive Man wear a picture of Radioactive Man on his costume? And but I had the Kiss one. I think I had the Darth Vader one. I had so many of them.
See, I want the Welcome Back Connor ones. So
the
fucking Travolta one. Oh my god,
really frightening,
dude! I would wear that during all of my murders. I mean, outings. No, that thing is like the creepiest.
You had that as your profile pic forever. So when you'd send me a message, this creepy face would come.
Nice.
Where's the opener or whatever?
That's what I like.
No, you never said that, but.
Oh my god, where's the open?
If you watch that show, it's basically just racial humor, and like the Jewish guy makes fun of being Jewish.
What?
The black guy makes fun of being black.
They do that?
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, I can't take it. I'm triggered. Oh, I'm offended for all the minorities. Oh. That's how I feel like society is today. Obama told everybody to settle down.
First of all, yes, we're going a little farther back. You know, I think it's like, you know, the people, it seems like there's people who feel inadequate and they try to establish themselves by being the arbiter of ethics somehow. Like, who, you know, told you? And then it's like, okay, you're telling people how to talk. Instead of telling people how to talk, why don't you invest your time in actually helping people, you know, in the inner city or whatever, or, you know, tutor after work or something, actually contribute to people getting more economic access to things rather than just telling everyone how to talk. Because I think telling people how to talk, prescribing speech is not a good idea. We need to preserve free speech. Maybe you should ask the people themselves how they want to be called. You know, I never really met a Native American who wants to be called Native American. They usually tell you they want to be called their tribe. No, Hopi or Navajo or Sioux. And some of them do say Indian, actually. So, you know, I don't know. I think maybe we've gone a little too far with the PC stuff. I also think it's a cop-out from the Democrats. It's a very easy way to get people on their side and to energize their base without actually having to do any programs that actually help any people. So I think it's all window dressing.
How are they going to help anybody when they can't even fuck themselves? They're fucking up this impeachment thing.
Well, that's a question.
Allowing this vote now is the right spinning it as this is an admission that this is an unfair process. There are Republicans in the goddamn room.
Yeah, for
that douchebag Keene, who's probably going to be a brown shirt when we're all getting, you know, rounded up as homosexuals and people of color.
Brown shirts.
Mark my word, that Kane guy, he's gonna lead. He's gonna lead the Nazi.
The Undertaker's brother.
He's some congressman.
Does he wear a red and black mask?
Is he in Virginia?
You don't know what I'm talking about? Or you just
probably relates to the Kanes up here.
The Undertaker.
The guys who raided the basement. The guys who raided the basement. Those
from
congressmen.
WWF.
No, not from WWF.
Paul's saying let's not
They're
make
politicians.
it so political.
Yes, Kane showed up with his mask and said the process wasn't working. Then he power bombed a security guard.
He is like the governor or like the mayor of Memphis or something.
Is he really? I don't know. But anyway,
I think
Democrats suck.
I think that a part of it is a political ploy because you can very easily have the impeachment inquiry and just chip away at the president while the new election comes towards us. So
you thought it was a dirty trick the whole time?
No, it's not a dirty trick. I think there should be impeachment proceedings, and the federal court said that yes,
the guy admitted a crime on television.
But
then admitted the crime.
But
then his chief of staff admitted the crime. His lawyer admitted the crime.
Right.
Let's just lock the guy up already.
But
Christ, if Hillary did any of that shit, she'd be tarred and feathered and hung. Because Republicans go for the gusto. And freaking Democrats are weak.
I don't know that the Democrats are
so freaking weak.
Innocent as you think.
No, it's both sides are weak.
It is both. It was both sides.
It's like,
and I don't
Hillary
think
did shit that was just as if anybody else did what Hillary did and had all their fucking government emails offloaded to a private server that China fucking hacked and got access to all their goddamn emails. Russia and China. A lot of people.
Okay.
They got hacked all over the fucking place. It's like that they would be in fucking jail for like 1,000,000 years, but because it's Hillary Clinton, she's not going to jail. Like there's a different fucking. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It's a fucking
rich poor thing.
Yeah, definitely, or like a stratosphere of like political power. You know, like if that were anybody
I'm not
else,
actually saying she'd be tarred and feathered. The Republicans would be calling for it because they
were
sell
with the
things
email
better
thing, which
than,
is. But they were with the email thing. They don't sell anything better than anything.
Lindsay doesn't want to hear about politics.
Oh.
Good.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Okay, so Kane showed
I
up.
thought Lindsay stole that fucking thing. That thing on the TV that I saw with the green skin. The thing with the brain.
I thought you were going to say your Deadpool costume.
Ladies and
Lindsay
gentlemen.
stole my Deadpool costume.
We're coming for you.
All right, Lindsay, we apologize for the politics. The next time I bring up politics, Kane will come in and powerbomb me in the living room.
She would turn on MSNBC if she wanted to listen to politics.
Fair
She's
enough.
probably right. Thank you, Lindsay, for keeping us honest.
Oh my god, I knocked him over.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, he's dead. Okay.
He's just spent all this time putting him back together.
This
Oh, wow,
is
he's
the
got wings.
Inquisitor.
A whore fell out of his mouth.
And as a tribute to Jaws, I thought it would be kind of cute to have a swimmer.
Nice.
And yeah, this is him. New brain.
Nice.
The brain was actually made by Bloody Kisses Universe. I don't know what she calls herself now, but
Bloody Kisses Universe. Who's that?
Miss Heather made the brain a long time ago.
The brain.
Dun, dun, dun.
Brains.
Here you can see the details.
Ooh.
In black and white.
Ooh.
So anyway,
I like the wings.
The thank you. I got them from Red Bull.
Excellent.
So we have to determine what the voice will be. But nobody has voted, so I'm going to give it one more week. If nobody votes, I'm just making a judgment call.
You people, and I mean that when I say you people.
You vote. Use guys.
If y'all don't be voting, he don't be toting.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't have any questions in him now?
No question.
Oh, it fell out.
We're going to look at the bad pictures.
No, we're not looking at bad pictures.
We're not doing that.
I haven't had time. I was,
He had a whole thing planned with them. It wasn't just.
Yeah, I had a
showing
whole
them.
thing more than just showing them.
They can't see Inquisitor. If you could give a close-up.
I did already. They'll see it.
I'll leave him on my lap.
It's,
Oh, we can't see Inquisitor.
Is it because of the lighting?
No, hold on. I'll do this.
doing your camera tricks.
I'm actually glad we have somebody listen, reading what the audience is saying.
No, we don't. That's just a ghost.
I'm glad we have a ghost that tells us what the audience
See
is saying.
Inquisitor? Do you want to see him in color? Should I try and make this color so you can see it? I don't know if it's going to allow me to do this.
Monsters! Monsters!
I can't,
You know what?
I can't put it in color for you.
I'll take some pictures and I'll post them.
Yeah, we'll post pictures. You'll see what he looks like. He looks good. Better than ever. Dr. Zomb. Really?
Ooh, nice. So she saw.
Hooray!
Oh, excellent.
Who's
Excellent.
So Dr. Zomb will be, does good work.
Is
Great
Liz-
surgeon.
She said post a picture later.
I feel like
Of what?
Inquisitor.
I feel like Lindsay's the fourth Beatle or the fifth Beatle or whatever. How many Beatles were there?
666th Beetle.
The 999 Beatle.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Monster.
Yeah, I don't know. When you said that we were, live from space and we'd do this podcast in the living room, and I just went right to Mystery Science Theater, and I was like, we need a fishbowl for questions, but it needs to be dressed up. And this is what I came up with. And then we didn't use it.
Well, I'm glad
months.
it wasn't something racist. Like Lordy Lewis.
Okay. The question that was supposed to be in his mouth was which do you think is the better song called Halloween? The Dead Kennedys or the Misfits?
I love the Dead Kennedys, but I think the Misfits,
My answer to this is simple. The Dead Kennedys song has more complicated lyrics and is a little more interesting. However, the Misfits have the advantage because their entire catalog are Halloween songs.
Pretty much.
So,
horror movies.
Misfits win by default.
Interesting.
I don't know. Do you have thoughts?
I think stealing people's mail is the best song for Halloween.
Self-promotion.
No, that's not mine. That's the Dead Kennedys.
Oh, you did the mailman one. That's what it was.
I delivered a mail. The Dead Kennedys steal it. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a federal crime.
I think the
Jello's a rebel.
I think I don't know. I like every other Dead Kennedy song except the song Halloween. I think
Really?
Forest Fire is like a great song.
Yeah.
Which one predated which one? I guess the Misfits came out first.
I don't know, really. I think the Dead Kennedys are 78, but I could be wrong.
Really? They start back that far?
They're about two different things. Like one's more about practical, the celebration, the ridiculousness and the hypocrisy of celebrating Halloween, and the other one's about somebody who remembers Halloween.
I fucking love. I think honestly, like.
But the more horror aspect of it.
Every other Dead Kennedy song besides that, like they have the one song about someday I'll have power, someday I'll have boats.
Terminal Preppy.
Yeah, Terminal Preppy. It's like the fucking. I don't know. I think they're genius. I don't think they got enough play. Like the Dead Kennedys.
I don't know. As I do things recording wise, because I'm semi-retired from performing, I'm on hiatus. I'd like to cover some Dead Kennedy songs, but do them in different ways.
You're on Who's Anus?
What?
Greg Louganis.
Greg Louganis?
Greg Louganis.
Who's Greg Louganis?
You're in Greg Louganis' anus?
He's a swimmer with AIDS.
You better wear a condom.
What are you talking about?
You said you're on hiatus, and I said,
And then I said Greg
Bad pun.
Louganis.
Okay, I missed your bad pun. I'm sorry.
They give us comedy cold for 5 minutes.
Don't stroke the
At least I got something to pull there, James.
The wizard doesn't like when you stroke his beard.
It is a little fuzzy. There's something going on there. Good man.
Yeah.
A little more.
When I get the, you're scratchy. I'm waiting for the jobs to tell me you gotta wear the beard guard. So I'm waiting.
You might have to dress like Cobra Commander.
Yes.
I like it.
And I'm gonna sell the products. As Cobra Commander. You will buy this medicine.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Buy the rice cakes.
Yours is better. I'm more of a destro. Cobra Commander, this petty display of foods will not.
We used to, at my old job, we would fucking watch on the security cameras all the time that we weren't supposed to have access to. And we would watch the owner of the company come in, and like, my boss was like a guy who didn't give a fuck. But when the owner came in, you would see him like go up to the fucking like the owner, open the door, like super nice to her or whatever, just like an old millionaire, and fucking we would just go, we would be sitting there like watching the footage like dun 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 dun, like singing the stars and like narrating it, and fucking I don't know, like just doing her voice as like the emperor. It's like the best way to kill time at work is if you can watch your coworkers on the security camera. Just do the voices.
Nice.
The Death Star. No,
This paperwork is incomplete.
No, it was great.
You have failed me for the last
You would watch
time.
too. We would just watch them all the time. We call them the cows up in the front, and because they would just be like grazing, like it would, like you'd see them get up and like walk around, like just walk over to here and kind of like.
And these were like upper management types?
No, these were like the people that are supposed to be answering the phone when the online customers have problems.
Oh, geez.
But they were like the most incompetent group of fucking people. This one lady, they called her Frumpy. She had like a crush on me. She would always like try and like talk to me. She's like 67 years old.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And just the, I don't know. I don't miss it. That place is like nonsense. Kind of like a.
You should always
dead-end
flirt back
job.
with an older woman because you never know if they're mad at their family and they might throw you with their will. That's how I'm paying off my student loans.
No, that lady works at Value Line. She don't have.
Oh, okay.
It's just all these girls at work who are saying, "Yeah, get yourself like a cash daddy before he's about to."
That's what they tell you at your new job.
And that's what some of the girls they say. Oh, you know, we need to get a fucking, you know, a high roller is like 95.
What was that bitch that
about
had the
to
reality
fucking
show?
croak?
She was kind of hot in the 90s, and then she got really fat. She had that dumb reality show, and she seemed high the whole time. And she married the old dude who was always hooked up to oxygen. I mean, when they got together, he was hooked up to oxygen. Oh yeah, that's true love. Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh yeah.
I watched, when I briefly did watch reality shows, I always watched like the train wreck ones, like the ones where you cringe, like when I watched The Office and Michael Scott and some of the crap he says.
Yeah.
Like this, I can't look. Dwight too there were a couple moments with Dwight. I'm like, oh, stop. And my wife's always like, it's okay, it's just a show.
That's good writing.
I'll watch a throat get slit, or a guy cut a shark that's flying in the air in half with a chainsaw, but.
My grandfather wasn't a Nazi. He was in the Bund.
So, we're off the rails here. So this is the new Inquisitor. He has wings. Vote for the new voice. I don't know. Pick the Rushmore voice. It would make life easier for me production-wise. Yay.
Don't make Jim sad.
I don't think voices are equally represented. I didn't hear like an African-American voice. I would really prefer if Inquisitor...
Well, the guy I was slated to hire to do an African-American voice was busy with another project, so I didn't want to bother said person.
Why does it have to be a guy?
Yeah, I want it to be a black chick like, hey, sugar.
We can just keep this going, and every week just have new voices for him. Yeah, I don't care. Let's just make it dumb. Like when we, because the big reveal was it was Rushmore who knocked me out in the first place to take the brain, to force this brain, because it was Rushmore's brain or a clone of his brain, so he could take over the show with his conservative agenda.
Oh, I don't like that.
What have you been smoking?
Yeah,
a lot of
Did you storyboard this? Yeah.
Storyboard? No. If by storyboard you mean got high and took a shower and planned the whole thing out in 20 minutes, yes, I storyboarded the fuck out of it.
Nice.
This is off the rails.
It's off the rails.
Halloween is ruined.
Oh my god! Like a bolt.
You know why I wasn't doing a voice?
Why?
Because I was standing next to a Baldwin.
A Baldwin?
A Baldwin.
Which Baldwin?
I can't say.
Obviously it wasn't a good one, or else you would say.
It was the best one.
It was Alec.
I will say plead the fifth, but I'll say
Alec's the only good one, really.
No. The good one was the one that was in Independence Day. He's got the Atom. He's the good Baldwin.
Really? Shut up.
No, yeah. I got to stand next to Alec Baldwin.
How did that happen?
At a memorial that I happened to be at, and he spoke. I'll be vague, but the actor who the memorial was for played his boss on 30 Rock, so he had.
Okay, so that's not that big.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's your look it up.
Nice.
So it was cool. I mean, it was a super sweet memorial. They played a lot of cool footage. There's a movie.
Who died?
Rip Torn died.
You went to Rip Torn's
memorial. He died in July, I think, but I went to the memorial this Monday.
Okay.
Did the footage of him holding the baby and stabbing her in Beastmaster, did that make
no, there was no Beastmaster, but I'll tell you, they showed him hitting Norman Mailer, fighting Norman Mailer.
Nice.
That was like a classic. They showed this trailer for this movie, Payday, that I've never seen.
Okay.
That looks like the fucking greatest movie probably ever made. It's like he's just a guy like Ric Flair, fucking wheeling and dealing, smoking weed, drinking, fucking spending a shitload of money, buying crazy cars. Like he's just like this nut.
Awesome.
I don't know what this movie is. It's called Payday. It looks fucking awesome. He was waiting for Payday on the trailer, and it seems like that movie will be Payday.
Nice.
They showed stuff from Freddy Got Fingered. They showed stuff from Dodgeball. They showed stuff.
I forgot he was in Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, he was in there.
Oh my god, he's great in that.
Hell yeah.
They showed a lot of cool stuff. So it was like, and it was like a touching tribute. A lot of quite a few actors came out and talked. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was in Adventures in Babysitting.
Did you get invited to this, or you just showed
I got
up?
invited to this.
You got an invitation to Rip Torn's memorial.
Yeah.
From whom?
From his daughter. Because we have the band.
Oh, now I understand the connection. Okay.
But
and then how did you end up standing next to fucking Alec Baldwin?
Because Alec Baldwin, I got there late, so I just got to my a seat in the actor's studio, and I don't know. I was sitting around. I was looking for Angelica because it's like I wanted to say hi to her.
For sure.
And I saw her, and she was sitting a couple rows down. I was like, okay, whatever, you know, she's running shit. And then I looked in, I'm like looking at the crowd, I'm like looking around like, oh, who's here? And like, that looks like a fucking, that's Baldwin right there, definitely, you know? Like, I can tell, like, just by the size of his face. And like, that's either Daniel Baldwin or Alec Baldwin. My money's on Alec Baldwin, you know? Sure enough, it was. It was cool, man. It was super touching, like, he told a great story about
really.
He told a great story about being on the set of Hunt for Red October.
No shit.
And that they wanted Rip Torn to not dye his hair, and he went up to Alec Baldwin, and he's like talking to him one day. And he's like, hey, what's up, Rip? You know what's going on? And he said, Rip Torn looked at him. He goes, Alec, they're taking food right out of my kids' mouths, Alec. Because they wanted him to not dye his hair, just play, like, he, like, you know, realized what he had to do, I guess. Like, he was just like, it was funny too, because everybody's recollection of him was like totally, like, one guy was like, he was the nicest guy I ever met, he let me stay in his house, I was fucking, we were chilling, fishing every day.
Holy shit.
Other people were like, you know, he was like a contentious guy for the sake of art, like, he was very fucking just gung-ho, cowboy boots on, yelling about, you know, politics or whatever. Like, he was very just charged up and energetic, and sometimes it caused problems with people on set or whatever, but it was like always like a nice like story, but he definitely had kind of like a crazy side, for sure. Fucking Dick Cavett had him on, and he said some unsavory shit, and they got a bullet fired through his window of his house.
What?
And then nobody's ever found that footage of, like, Dick Cavett. Like, it's never, like, that, all that shit you could find online, most of it. Everybody else, like, that interview with Rip Torn, you don't find. So it was illuminating, and it's like cool to hear.
Was Shandling there?
What?
Was Gary Shandling there?
Gary Shandling's dead, dude.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Wait, when did he die? He was just in the Avengers.
2015.
Yeah, Gary Shandling died like 5 years ago, Joe.
Oh, well, I guess he didn't show up then. Did his ghost show up?
Well, you know what?
This is haunted.
Dude, Gary Shandling's probably one of those guys that I bet you if he was alive, I would have figured he would have been there, like, I don't know.
I didn't realize he's dead.
No, yeah, Gary Shandling is long dead.
Very dead.
Good job, though.
Actually, a lot of comedians say he was a comedian.
Good job not calling him Larry Sanders.
Yeah, right?
Was Larry Sanders? Wait, it's 2015.
And Gary Shandling was a Buddhist, too.
Then what year was Winter Soldier with the Hail Hydra?
What you call it? How did Alec look? Did he look old or?
No, he looked good.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, he looked good, man. It was a good night. Everybody there, it was cool, man. I got to just hang out. I always feel so out of place because I'm not an actor.
Right.
I'm like in the acting, everybody asks me, "Are you an actor?" And it's like I should just start saying yes.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you were.
Maybe
you were a child actor.
No, I was a shit child actor. I wasn't really a child actor. I was in a play or a couple, but whatever. But like, I don't know. I think about it like.
Did you get a card? Do you have a SAG card from that play?
A SAG card?
No, man.
If I had a SAG card, I wouldn't have a job. All I need is my insurance. I would just be living on a fucking surfboard.
No, I'm saying, like, what level of theater was it?
It wasn't any level of theater.
All right, so it was like.
He's got a sack card, like for a sack, you know, like a card for a sack.
No, was it like?
No, you know
like
what?
theater,
I want to get a SAG card. I've been thinking about it and thinking about auditioning, and I just gotta take the time off of work from the Spy Factory and go do auditions, I guess.
Well, you got the mustache for it.
Well, no, that's for Halloween.
I know, I'm just fucking.
That's for Halloween. Nobody knows what I'm going to be.
I would be such an asshole if I saw Alec Baldwin, because the first thing I would do is sneak up behind him and go, "Coffee's for closers," as soon as he grabs a coffee or something.
Don't do that.
I'll tell you what.
Come on, that's hysterical.
I heard that so many times.
He probably never heard it.
Listen, there's so many fucking people in my life that like I've seen or whatever where I'm like, I can approach them, they're cool.
Right.
That guy was like not one of them.
Oh no.
That's like approaching a fucking like a pit bull. Like I feel like
he's like a rhino.
He's chill, but he don't want to be bothered. Like he don't know me, I don't know him. it's obvious that any reason I would walk up to him is because I am starstruck and he was in Beetlejuice.
Right.
You know, like, look at me. I look like fucking Tim Burton.
Right. That scene in Glengarry Glen Ross when he delivers that monologue is like one of the best fucking pieces of acting I've ever seen.
Dude, he's a great fucking. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a great comedic actor, honestly, than a better comedic actor probably than a dramatic. And that's another thing they were talking about was like, they always said, like Rip Torn said, play comedy for drama and drama for comedy.
Oh, interesting.
And that's how you'll make it hit. Like.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful when
Yeah.
they did that. It really was.
Yeah, it was like a super moving thing. Like it was crazy that I was even there. Like I don't know, I'm super happy, but that's why I wasn't recording voices because I was in.
Because you're meeting Alec Baldwin. I think it's all a lie.
I didn't meet him. I just stood. He stood next to me and looked at me, fucking questionably at one point because I was just like this.
A little drool coming out the corner.
Yeah. I was excited, man. I don't know.
Hi, Alec.
And it's one of those things. If he was hanging out after and I got to talk to him, I probably would have made him laugh with something or other. Like if he was like chilling, like I could tell he was like fucking pensive. You know, he didn't want to chill. Like he said his piece. He got the fuck out of there. Like. Went to do Alec.
Honestly, every famous person I've ever met, the only thing I say is, I love your work. That's it. And then I just chill.
You just lie to famous people just to be their friend.
Yeah, pretty much. But then, like, I'm like...
Is that why we're friends? I love your work, Paul. Let's have a podcast.
That's right, yeah. That's right. I just kept showing up. And we kept doing it. I'm just be aloof, and then they'll just start talking to me because they're like, "All right, this asshole isn't gonna fucking accost me, or ask me for anything."
The thing. It's like I'm not.
They're like, "Oh, you're a human. I'm a human. Oh, you're aware of my work. You enjoy my work." You know, I'm not gonna say it if I don't fucking enjoy your work, but
my
you know what I'm
thing
saying.
with that is like if I'm having a conversation or like talking to somebody about something else, and that guy comes in,
right?
Like. Oh, we're talking about the Velvet Underground. Like the music they played was cool. Like at the after party, we were just chilling, and it was like Velvet Underground, X, like good, like punk rock, like proto punk, whatever.
Cool.
Stooges, shit like that.
That's awesome.
Probably not stuff Rip Torn would have listened to, but definitely stuff that was in the spirit of Rip Torn.
Hell yeah. He was badass.
Yeah, like
loved his fucking voice.
Then like one of those things. Yeah, if somebody comes up, that was funny too. I noticed like everybody kind of did like their like kind of impression.
I was just gonna ask about,
but like nobody went full Rip Torn. I was like, I was telling this guy outside, I'm like, man, I kind of like how everybody did like a little bit of the Rip Torn voice. He's like, I didn't hear it at all. He's like, Rip Torn used to call me and my partner, "Yous two are unicorn fags." Like you say, like this shit, like this dude, we were bullshitting with us. I was like, "You two are unicorn fans." Just like this heavy Texas accent. He's like, it's like his buddies, but like that was like he wanted to hear that. Like I heard Alec Baldwin kind of do it. Like
thanks to your meme the other day for my birthday. Now I know what a unicorn fag looks like.
It was I don't know. It was cool, man. Nobody went full bore, but like it was good, man. It was touching, and like it was one of those things. Like they showed this home footage of him, fucking, like fishing and like hunting and just stuff that like I don't know the kids shot. It was like 8mm film. Like
wow,
fucking it was cool, dude. It was definitely. And they showed they had this director come up too, and he said he hired Rip Torn to be in a movie, and he wanted him to be in a. Rip Torn said, if you're going to put me in this movie, I want to be the leading romantic lead. Like, I want to be a romantic lead. I never get roles like that. So the guy's like, okay, that movie never happened. But he had this other movie that eventually ended up coming out, and he's like, hey, would you want to do this movie? Like, am I going to be the romantic lead? Yeah, kind of, sure. And it was like a movie about a psychologist or something, and he's like talking. The whole movie is him talking into a camera. It's entirely him.
Mm-hmm.
And except for like a little bit. And he said at one point, the director said he wrote the movie too. He said, like, I realized that my dialogue was getting in the way of like his performance. So he put in these like weird pops and clicks and like these weird film sounds to like only take lines that he felt he needed. And it was like fucking... Dude, that's a rare thing, man, where a director who writes a movie is watching dailies and going, the shit I wrote is detracting from what this guy's doing for my movie. Like, that says so much about the actor, and that says so much about the director to fucking step back and be able to realize, like, this is so much more effective without these words.
Right.
I don't know. It was just my mind was blown in. It really made me think a whole lot about writing and.
I don't normally like to talk, but I'm actually getting chills because watching this video clip that they showed on Monday was incredible to watch. Like, it really was. And it was all about somebody's psychotic break.
Wow.
And removing the dialogue and doing that, like, that's what it looked like. It looked like somebody's psychotic break.
Wow.
Like, their meltdown. Like, I don't really know the movie that they're talking about.
I don't know the movie at all, but we have to watch it.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely. Like, because what that felt like, it was like you were watching somebody's, like, just break.
Yeah, I went into it watching and not knowing the context of it. The guy came up after. I was like watching him like, holy fuck, is this more home movie footage? It's like,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was like super.
Yeah, because they showed home movies and then they showed
that right after.
Right after, and it was incredible, like, to watch. And the guy was a young director at the time. He was like, back in the day, what did he say? He was like in his 20s.
Yeah, he said it was like 40 years ago or something.
Like it was all like he was a young director, young writer, and came to him, met him one day. It was amazing. Like, it was an amazing experience just listening about this man's life. Like,
yeah, you never realized the shit that he was in until, I don't know, the people that were making it with him in the 60s are like talking about it.
Right.
But he was on like everything. I forget, I gotta find what that movie is called. But goddamn was that an effective scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna start revisiting some of the career of Rip Torn just out of curiosity, because I love so many Rip Torn movies, but I feel like they're probably the best worst ones, like RoboCop 3, and like he came up on the show last week. We were talking about him a little bit. Like Freddy Got Fingered is like one of my favorite movies. It was like,
I like that too.
It's a hilarious movie.
Oh, it's funny.
That movie's great.
It's funny.
Oh my god.
But like, man,
Did
that
Tyler
guy
Green really need a movie vehicle.
That guy had a fucking real, like, old school Hollywood career, man.
Hell yeah.
Rip Torn, a lot of
around forever.
Spending decades.
He was the best part of the Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah.
I really think he was kind of the. I mean, he made a lot of. He always had the best lines.
Yep.
Like Gary, it was more about him dealing with Gary and the Hey Now guy, and getting the show to work.
Hey Kingsley.
And he just had kind of a presence, you know, and even though he was kind of a tough ass, you could relate to Rip Torn, I think, very easily.
Yeah.
And everybody knows a guy like that, I think.
I've been dying to
The guy
rewatch
just
Beastmaster.
Yeah.
He was a great villain.
Oh yeah.
Because he kind of looked like he had no teeth. And he looked like a hillbilly, and like the world had just gone really bad.
I'll tell you, Dolly Dearest, the Killer Doll movie.
Yeah.
That's another like classic. Like, I like that Rip Torn did A movies and B movies,
right,
and C movies and television. Like, he was all over the place, man. There's a movie like, I guess, you know, early on you just take whatever, and then eventually you become like, people realize your back catalog. Like, I don't know, Men in Black, like, was huge for Rip Torn. Like, that's, as a kid, I think that's the first time I really remember seeing him in something. But like, I don't know, he's like fucking, I don't know, he's always in everything. Like, now that I'll watch something, I'm like, oh shit, he was in this. Like,
right,
it's
exactly.
fucking so much shit, man. But who's your asshole of the week?
My asshole of the week. I actually had a pretty good week this week.
Who's your hero of the week?
My hero of the week. I got published again today. I wrote an essay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I wrote an essay about marijuana, and I shopped it around, and I had my old editor's email, and I was like, you know what? I'll just fucking send it to her. Fuck it. Maybe she'll pick it up. So I got see my name in print again, and I'm gonna get a little scratch from that. And I also got contacted by a scientist, which was the reason why I thought about sending her the essay to begin with, who found a previous article of mine, and it ties into his work. He liked it very much, and he wants me to write about his new research that was just published.
Hey, congratulations.
And it's about, thanks, man. It's about a model of the universe where instead of the basis of the universe being energy or matter, it's information. And he says that information actually has mass. And that we've been searching for dark matter, but dark matter, he says, doesn't exist. It's actually the mass of information that accounts for the phenomenon which dark matter is supposedly a part. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And the way he proved it is he saved some information on a hard drive and then he erased it. He measured with like very sensitive equipment, and it actually got lighter. No, it wasn't a hard drive. It was an external hard drive that he saved on. And when he erased the file, the hard drive actually incrementally got lighter. So he said that missing information proves that information has mass. That's the theory, anyway.
So you put something on a hard drive, measure it.
Yeah.
Take that item off the hard drive and reweigh it, and now you're saying information has mass because
the hard drive gets lighter.
But that's magnetic. Like, hard drives are magnetic. What if did he try it with a solid state drive? You should ask him.
Okay, I will.
Ask him. We'll talk about this.
Okay.
I don't want to fuck with the guy, but you know.
I don't know. He's like a theoretical physicist at
I'm curious.
a university in England.
Yeah, if you tried it with an SSD, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Thanks, man.
Who's your asshole of the week?
I have no asshole of the week, but I have two really short heroes of the week.
Okay.
Hero number one is my pal and friend of the show, Anthony Barber.
Oh yeah.
Who is now finishing up with the Demarists, which actually had an appearance from a guy from Child's Play.
Get out.
Signed autographs.
Nice.
The kid who played Billy.
Oh, cool.
Andy?
That's cool.
Andy.
Billy.
Andy. Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm inaccurate.
That should be a soundbite.
Yeah, it is now. He's doing it. This is the last weekend, so I'm gonna go check it out. So I really encourage everybody to go check it out. This guy is the real deal performer, and it's supposed to be one of the better.
This is the last weekend.
Affairs. This is the last weekend.
They're doing it this weekend.
They're doing it.
And where is it?
Demarest, New Jersey. I don't have the exact address.
What's the name of the place? The thing?
Something Farms. It's a haunted hayride. Wow, I didn't really do my research.
Yeah, haunted hayride in Demarest. Find it.
I'm gonna find
Just look up Anthony Barber, Dark Forest Creations. It'll have all the information.
Dark Forest Creations.
Hero 2 is my good friend Matty Z.
Nice.
Matty Z Music. He's almost done a full year of this open mic, which has done a lot of really great good for a lot of the local bands, especially the cover bands, like finding different musicians, and they got their little gang, so they asked me to co-host. So I'm gonna plug Cole, I'm gonna plug my stuff, and probably dress like Billy Idol and sing Dancing with Myself. So check it out. It is it's on Woodhull Drive in Little Falls, New Jersey. It's called Russian Hall. It's a little dive bar. But but it's also a catering hall. The food is not dive bar food. It's a higher quality food.
It's classy food.
It's good. It's really good food, but it's kind of a dive bar atmosphere. They got one of those old school shuffleboard things.
Those are my two favorite
check it
things.
out. I'm going to be giving out dumb prizes as always, and telling stupid jokes and being completely inaccurate because I don't know how to check facts.
I kind of like the idea of like really good food in a dive bar because those are two of my favorite things.
That's the best.
That's the best right there.
And you can find it, especially in the city, or not New Orleans, the other one, with Beale Street, Memphis. All of them look like dive
They
bars.
made a movie called Beale Street. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I think on that note, my asshole of the week. Actually, I think my hero of the week is me because I didn't kill anybody.
Nice. I thought your hero of the week was gonna be Alec Baldwin.
Oh my god!
Rose being edgy. Actually, no. My hero of the week is the entire Torn family. I think that was just super nice.
Awesome. I like that.
No, that's a bad loss. He was a great character actor and supported a lot of great films.
Dude, that guy seemed like the coolest dude ever.
Right?
Wish I could have hung with him. That's the leitmotif this weekend. I wish I could have hung with a lot of dead people. I think on that note, we'll get the fuck out of here, celebrate Halloween. Next week, we will terrify you with old pictures of us.
Ooh.
Old sexy pictures of us.
Speak for yourself.
When we were children.
Weirdo.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to see back episodes of the show, youtube.com/Plan10 Studios, cultofcontempt.org, or right here on Facebook, Cult of Contempt Network. Even check us out on Instagram at Cult of Contempt Podcast. You want to reach Paul? It's at Paul Mald on Twitter and Instagram, and Paul of the Living Dead on Facebook.com. Phil Perry, the writer, on Instagram, and his Facebook fan page at Phil Perry, the writer. I'm Jim Cook at Jim Cook on Facebook, or Jim Cook Voice Actor on Facebook. You want to get a hold of me directly, jcookvoice@yahoo.com. On behalf of Paul and Phil, I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you next week at 8:15. I'm Jim Cook. Transmission out. Stand by for contact. We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to see back episodes of the show, youtube.com/Plan10 Studios, cultofcontempt.org, or right here on Facebook, Cult of Contempt Network. Even check us out on Instagram at Cult of Contempt Podcast. You want to reach Paul? It's at Paul Mald on Twitter and Instagram, and Paul of the Living Dead on Facebook.com. Phil Perry, the writer, on Instagram, and his Facebook fan page at Phil Perry, the writer. I'm Jim Cook at Jim Cook on Facebook, or Jim Cook Voice Actor on Facebook. You want to get a hold of me directly, jcookvoice@yahoo.com. On behalf of Paul and Phil, I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you next week at 8:15. I'm Jim Cook. Transmission out. Stand by for contact. We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to see back episodes of the show, youtube.com/Plan10 Studios, cultofcontempt.org, or right here on Facebook, Cult of Contempt Network. Even check us out on Instagram at Cult of Contempt Podcast. You want to reach Paul? It's at Paul Mald on Twitter and Instagram, and Paul of the Living Dead on Facebook.com. Phil Perry, the writer, on Instagram,